Hi everyone, welcome to the master classes. The webinars and workshops conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming operational case study examinations happening in February 2024. My name is Nick, and I'm the lead tutor and evaluator for OCS at TCS. So let's try to figure out what I'm trying to cover within today's webinar. So first things first, I will be talking about how you can include information taken from the pre-scene when developing your answers, because if you do, there is a high chance of you getting better marks, because as the finance officer of this company, you need to know what happens within your chosen organization. So I'll give you tips pertaining to pre-scene application. Then I'll also speak about industry analysis. I will be conducting an industry analysis based on the real life information pertaining to similar companies which operate in real life. So that will form the industry analysis, which will enable you to have a better understanding about what type of activities your chosen company as well as real life similar companies are up to. Then the most important part is the pre-scene analysis. So as I've been mentioning in the first webinar, I said that our pre-scene analysis sessions consists of four main elements or four main videos. So out of the four areas, I'll be solely focusing on the first part in this webinar. And at the very end, I will also give you tips pertaining to what you need to do to rebound from failure. So as you already should know, your results pertaining to the November sessions were released 2 or 3 days back, and some of you might have failed this examination. So there's absolutely no point of being demotivated by your result. Instead, you need to really find out what went wrong and try to overcome each of the issues. So I will be highlighting common reasons which leads to a failure, and for each reason I will be providing a solution. So hopefully, if you failed in your previous sitting, hopefully you would stick to the best practices I'd highlight within this webinar at the very end, and which will ensure that you'd achieve a comfortable pass this time. All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritties, let me quickly remind you about the weekly webinars we are conducting until your examination. So as you know, there are something like 6 to 7 weeks until your examination. So in each week leading up to your exam, we are conducting either a webinar or a workshop. So the third webinar is happening on the 6th of January, which is a Saturday. And mind you, this is the most important webinar out of the 4 free webinars which we are conducting. So in the third webinar, I will be highlighting answering and time management techniques. Mind you, if you are clueless about how to develop answers, if you are clueless about how to manage your time, you can forget about having hopes pertaining to passing your OCS exam. So instead, you need to have a well-rounded approach, well tested out approach when it comes to developing your answers. So these answer planning and time management techniques, you need to keep practicing them each time you are attempting a mock exam in order to get these techniques right. So according to the results which we gained in the previous setting in November, one of our students had gained 117 marks when the pass mark is just 80 marks out of 150. One of our students had gained 117 marks. So this student, when I asked this student as to how he achieved this result, what he said was, when he started preparations, he was clueless about the type of answers he was supposed to prepare. However, after attending our series of webinars and after attempting our mock exams, after implementing the answering and time management techniques each time whilst attempting the mock exams, he was able to master these techniques. And at the real exam, he never ran out of time, it seems. He came up with appropriate answer structures or answer plans. So this led to a high score, which might result in a national prize or a country prize as well. So I hope you'd gain the same level of insights by attending the upcoming webinar, which is happening on the 6th of January. And in the 4th webinar, exam prep, I will be highlighting about what you need to do to build a positive attitude, because as per the CIMA examiner, if you are positive, then if you have a positive attitude, if you are confident, then there's a high chance of you passing your OCS exam. So all these things will be highlighted in the 4th webinar. And in the Q&A sessions, I will be taking you through, the questions and answers of mock exams, thereby highlighting the logic behind each answer. Whilst highlighting the logic behind each answer, I will also teach you theory as well as highlight what you need to do to improve your application skills. So these are covered within the first two workshops which we are conducting. And in both these workshops, you can ask me questions. So on a weekly basis, you can get in touch with us and keep tabs about how your preparations are proceeding. So these are Q&A sessions mainly. And in the final Q&A session, I will also be giving you last minute tips, which will help you overcome exam stress closer to the examination, because most students, if you are stressed closer to the exam, then you won't do a good job at the real exam. Instead, I will highlight what you need to get right in the third and final workshop. All right, so having said that, let's get into the technicalities. So first things first, I said I will talk about tips pertaining to what you need to get right when it comes to applying information or Preseen application or bringing in information from the Preseen. So what is the right approach? So first things first, you need to know your key information. If you are clueless about what is highlighted within the Preseen, if you cannot remember what's highlighted within the Preseen, then there's absolutely no chance of you passing your OCS exam. So for instance, this time's Preseen is based on a company called Personal Best. And you need to know that Personal Best sells 3 categories of protein bars. So at the exam, rather than going through the Preseen document, trying to figure out what the company is up to, it's better to get to know about the company beforehand. So that's exactly why we had developed a set of Preseen analysis videos. In a short while, you'd understand how we conduct the Preseen analysis videos and what is covered under each Preseen analysis video. So once you watch these 4 videos, you'd have an in-depth understanding about all the relevant and necessary information which is covered within the Preseen document. And on top of that, in order to make your life easier, we have developed a set of TikTok videos. And these TikTok videos, we have developed 3 TikTok videos, which consists of something like 6 to 7 minutes in total. Each video consists of 1.5 to 2 minutes of a duration. So if you keep on watching these 3 TikTok videos, you'd constantly keep reminding yourself about the most important points which are highlighted within the Preseen. So what you need to do when it comes to knowing your key information is simply watch the 4 Preseen analysis videos which we have conducted. And on top of that, on a routine basis, keep watching the TikTok videos. And if you do, you'd keep constantly reminding yourself about the most important elements or points highlighted within the Preseen. So once you do it, you need not spend any amount of time trying to memorize the information which appears within the Preseen. Instead, watch the 4 Preseen analysis videos, then keep watching the 3 TikTok videos on a daily basis. And it's best practice to remember the ratios. It's better to remember the key ratios. Again, we have made your life easy with regards to this area, because we are providing you with a set of financial analysis slides. So if you refer to these financial analysis slides, you would see that all the information had been evaluated, the financial statements, the SOPL, the SOFP or the balance sheet, as well as the statement of cash flows. All these things have been evaluated in depth so that you can easily remember the most important financial elements of the company. and you have to prepare for possible scenarios, but you need to be open-minded as well. So there's absolutely no point of trying to predict what type of questions are going to be thrown at you, what type of scenarios will be tested at your real examination, because at the real exam, the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. So in a real life corporate environment, you cannot predict the type of issues the company might face or the type of opportunities the company is trying to exploit. So it's better to be open-minded rather than to have tunnel vision, or rather than trying to predict the type of questions which are thrown at you. Instead, your role should be to go through mock exams, which covers the entire syllabus, all E1, F1, and P1 related areas. If all theoretical elements are covered via the mock exams, then you have prepared appropriately. Instead, if you try to predict the type of scenarios which will be thrown at you, the type of questions which will be thrown at you, you'd be wasting your time. So simply focus on attempting the 5 mock exams which we have developed, because we have ensured to cover all syllabus areas via our 5 mock exams. If you attempt the 5 mock exams, you'd realize that no key theoretical element is repeated twice or thrice. You'd see one theoretical concept just once within one of the subtasks or one of the tasks within each and every mock exam. So simply by attempting the 5 mock exams, you cover the entire syllabus. That's your role. You should not be focused on trying to predict the type of scenarios which will be thrown at you, because it makes no sense. It adds no value. And remember that the scenario presented in the exam carries the latest information about personal best. So via the Preseen document, as I've mentioned in the first webinar, the Preseen document consists of 4 main elements. So in the first part, the examiner gives us an introduction about the company. In the second part, the examiner gives us information pertaining to the internal dynamics of the company. In the third part, the examiner highlights the industry dynamics. And in the fourth and final part, the examiner gives us an indication about the financial situation of the company by providing the SOPL, the SOFP, and the statement of cash flows. So, all this information gives us an indication about what has happened within the company in the past. However, at your examination, what happens is it's as if you are walking into office, you are opening up an email, and the type of scenarios which will be provided to you will comprise of information pertaining to what the company faces at present, any type of issue the company faces at present, or any type of opportunity the company is trying to exploit at the present. So just because you go through the Preseen document, you cannot pass this examination. You need to have an understanding about what the company has done in the past by going through the Preseen document. Yet, you need to remember at your examination, the questions which will be thrown at you will consist of present information. Or in other words, it will consist of information pertaining to the type of issues the company faces at the moment, or the type of opportunities the company is trying to exploit at the moment. Okay, so when it comes to referring to Preseen information in your answers, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to refer or cite Preseen information in such a way that it adds value to your answer. So I've seen, a common mistake being made by most OCS students when developing answers, just with the intention of, showing to the examiner that you had gone through the Preseen document. Students have a tendency to bring in information from the Preseen which are totally irrelevant to the scenario at hand. So as I mentioned earlier, the Preseen gives us an indication about what has happened in the past within the organization, but at the examination, present information or the present dynamics faced by the company, current dynamics faced by the company will be presented at your exam as part of a scenario. So if you feel that you need to bring in information from the Preseen, you need to ensure that you do it with the intention of gaining additional marks. If you bring in irrelevant information, just with the intention of showing to the examiner that you had gone through the pre-scene, you are not going to get any marks. You would understand what I'm talking about when you go through the master classes which we have conducted. And on top of that, if you attend the upcoming webinar answering technique, as well as the 3 workshops which we are conducting closer to your exam, then you'd understand what I'm talking about. So whenever you are bringing in information from the pre-scene, you need to ensure that the information which you had brought in adds value to the arguments which you are presenting within your answer. If not, it makes no sense. Just because you bring in information from the pre-scene, if it's irrelevant, you are not going to get any marks. And do not force it in to show the marker that you have studied the pre-scene. So that's where relevance comes in. So whenever, as I mentioned, on multiple occasions right now, if you bring in information from the pre-scene, it needs to be relevant to the scenario, or it needs to add value to any type of argument which you are presenting within your answer. So in order to understand these things, attend the 3rd webinar exam technique and refer to the suggested answers and answer plans of mock exams. Then again, you'd understand what this means, or how what type of information or how pre-scene information needs to be brought into the answer with the intention of improving the quality of your answer. And you can also improve the skill set by watching the OCS master classes. So in these master classes, I'm taking you through the logic behind the questions and answers which are covered in all 5 mocks. Whilst taking you through these answers, I will also be highlighting theoretical components which are covered under each and every question. And on top of that, I will also focus on application skills, or what you need to focus on with regards to applying theoretical knowledge and applying pre-scene information within your answer. So if you watch the 20 master classes, then you need not worry about improving your pre-scene application skills. Okay, then you need to have a study plan for E1, F1, and P1, because as I've mentioned in the first webinar, the OCS exam is a highly technical examination. So when attempting this type of an examination, you need to be extremely conversant with theoretical elements, especially P1 and F1 areas. If you look at E1, it's not tested too much. The weightage provided is just 20%. However, if you look at F1 and P1, 80% of the questions which are thrown at you are based on F1 and P1. And especially if you are coming through an exemption route, as per my experience, what I've seen is most students who land at the OCS level, who come through the exemption route, are clueless about the P1 syllabus. If that is the case, it's highly unlikely that you would pass your OCS examination. So although that is said, we have developed a set of programs as well as study material, especially the master classes are focused on FLP students. So you need not refer to any other study material or spend a lot of time to learn theory. Instead, if you simply watch the master classes, you would learn how theory is applied, or what type of theoretical elements are covered in each and every question. So the best way to learn theory is by referring to our master classes. So you have to prepare for application of theories and concepts. Just because you know theory, however, if you do not know how to apply theory, then you won't get any marks. So you need to learn theory as well as focus on application of these theories, and prepare for integration of figures and numbers. Because if you look at your paper, you're not expected to do any calculations. For instance, if you look at something like variance analysis, which comes under the P1 syllabus. Now, if you look at variance analysis, if you are to do the OTQ exams, CIMA OTQ exams, then you need to do calculations. However, at the case study examination, that is not the case. The variances will be provided as part of the question or as part of the scenario. Your role should be to interpret the numbers provided, interpret the variances provided, or explain what each variance tells us about the company's performance or any shortcomings within the company. So you are not supposed to do any calculations. Instead, you are supposed to interpret figures and numbers. So do not focus on calculations, because you are not expected to do it. Instead, all the values or the figures will be provided at the exam. You are supposed to explain each of these figures and numbers. And when preparing for, with regards to the theoretical elements, you are not supposed to skip any topics. So that's exactly why when developing the 5 mock exams, we have made sure not to skip any syllabus area, because if you do, chances of you passing the OCS exam becomes less. So in order to ensure a first time pass, you should not skip any topic. So if you are not, if you are planning not to skip any topic, then it's mandatory that you attempt our 5 mock exams, and start attempting them according to our study plan. I will, take you through the study plan in a moment's time. So for now, you need to remember or understand that it's mandatory that you attempt all 5 mock exams. And if you do, you need not worry about missing out on any theoretical component, because all theoretical elements pertaining to E1, F1, and P1 syllabi are covered within our 5 mock exams. And do not, again, I'm mentioning that you are not supposed to rely on predictions, as any area can be examined. As I've mentioned earlier, you are playing the role of a finance officer, and the examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. So in a real life corporate environment, you cannot predict the type of issues the company might face, or the type of opportunities the company is trying to exploit. So you need to be open-minded. So having said that, we are done with the first part of today's webinar. So we are moving on to the second and third parts. So as I told you earlier, in the second and third parts, in the second part, I will be focusing on an industry analysis. And in the third part, I will be focusing on the Preseen document. So this industry analysis is conducted based on the industry analysis slides, which we have developed for the November 2023 and February 2024 sessions. So this set of slides consists of 4 main elements. First things first, we have provided an overview into the industry. Then we have highlighted the competitive landscape. Then we have highlighted the industry trends, because based on these trends, you can have some type of an understanding about the type of scenarios which can be thrown at you, because these are the type of changes the industry will face in the future. So when faced with changes, it either provides us with opportunities which we can exploit as a company, or either it provides us with threats which we need to focus and manage. So these are covered under industry trends, and at the very end, real world examples based on 2 real life companies are provided as well. Okay, so let's look at the market definition. So personal best, this time's case study is based on, or the company which is covered within this time's case study is based on the pre and post workout snacks market. So what are workout snacks? Workout snacks are a range of food and beverage products. It could be a food product, something like a chocolate or a protein bar which can be consumed, or it could be a beverage. So the beverage could be something like a protein shake, which you need to mix with water and consume before a workout or after a workout. Okay, so range of food and beverage products that are specifically formulated and marketed to be consumed immediately before or after a physical workout session. So these type of products are focused on fitness enthusiasts. So before a workout regime or after a workout regime, you need to gain some protein or consume some protein. So the easiest way to consume this type of protein before a workout session or after a workout session is by consuming a protein bar, something like a chocolate, or having a protein shake. Okay, so these are the two main products the company Personal Best is selling at the moment. And based on the market definition, I hope you now understand what this company and similar companies within this industry are up to. So these products are marketed, focused on fitness enthusiasts, and these are pre and post workout snacks. And what are the product characteristics which you'd see within this industry? The main focus is with regards to functionality, which is to optimize exercise performance. So as I mentioned earlier, before a workout or after a workout, it's prudent to take some protein or consume some protein. So why do we need proteins? Because then it optimizes the exercise performance. So that's exercise performance. So that's exactly what these companies within this industry are striving to achieve. And these companies try to offer convenience as well, because if you look at traditional proteins, you need to consume fish or some type of meat, but it takes some time to prepare. You cannot easily transport it because it's not wrapped or packaged properly. You need to spend some time to prepare it. All these inconveniences are left out. All these inconveniences are gotten rid of if you look at the companies which operate within this industry. So they are offering portability and ease of preparation when it comes to their protein intakes before or after workout session. And in what form are these products coming in? It comes as solid snacks, which are known as protein bars, or it comes in drinks which are known as shakes. So the protein powders, you just need to add some water and drink it, just like what you see in here. Or you can just consume a protein bar, which is considered as a solid snack as well. And when it comes to timing, these products are consumed pre-workout or post-workout. So if you consume such a product pre-workout, it provides you with quick energy. And if you are consuming these type of products post-workout, it provides recovery nutrients, which helps with muscle recovery as well as strength recovery. Okay, so having said that, let me quickly move on to the industry trends. So if you look at the trends which affects this industry, we can see the rise of global flavors. So there are flavors which are coming, which are focused on the different tastes of consumers spread across the world. And there's inclusive marketing. Now if you look at the fitness market in the 15 or 20 years back, this industry was, when they were involved with marketing activities, they always focused on well-built and slim models when carrying out their marketing initiatives. But it is not the case anymore. There's inclusive marketing. Any person from any body type which carries any type of body type is included within the marketing campaigns. And you can see a rise in business to consumer sales via online platforms, which was not the case 10 years back. And there's keto and low carb snacks. You can Google what keto snacks are. That's a different type of fitness regime. There are different fitness regimes, and out of it, one option at your disposal is a keto diet. So these are focused on keto. Consumers who are focusing on keto diets, as well as consumers are looking for low carb snacks. And clean label products are there. So clean label, what it stands for is the use of fewer ingredients, which is good for the planet, which is aligned with sustainability goals of most of these companies. And these companies are trying not to use artificial additives, because if it's the case, it's not too healthy. This has everything to do with health and fitness needs of consumers. So in such an environment, if you are providing artificial flavors, then artificial additives, then the consumers will be dissatisfied. So with the intention of satisfying consumers, these type of amendments have been adopted by companies within this industry. And transparency in sourcing and production. So when going ahead with supply chain management initiatives. These companies hell-bent about sourcing from ethical suppliers, and they are also involved with manufacturing facilities which are focused on achieving carbon neutrality or reducing their carbon footprint. And there's a lot of personalization as well, or you can call this customization as well. So these type of protein based diets can be customized. This offering is provided by companies out there, and most companies are focused on sustainability, as I told you earlier. So they are involved with eco-friendly packaging, ethical sourcing, as well as they are solely focusing on reducing carbon emissions. And plant-based options are also there. So hemp, soy, and pea protein are also used rather than using animal-based protein. These companies had moved on to plant-based options as well, because there's a rise in vegans and vegetarians if you look at the global trends out there. And these are two real life companies which are front runners within this industry. So if you go, I'm not going to take you through this set of slides in its entirety. If you go through this set of slides, you'd understand what this company, what similar companies are into, or what real life companies are into, if you look at this industry. Okay, so having said that, moving on to the pre-scene document. So first things first, the examiner gives you an indication about what you're supposed to do or your role. You are playing the role of a finance officer working within the finance department of personnel based. Okay, so you are located within the finance department, and what is your role? You are playing the role of a finance officer. So as a finance officer, since you are located at the lowest level of the organization or the operational level of the organization, you are involved with daily running of the business or the day-to-day activities of the company. So as I mentioned in the first webinar, I hope you attended it. If you missed it, please watch the recorded version, which can be accessed via our website, which is www.studyatTCS.com. So a finance officer who is located at the lowest level of the organization is involved with implementing the decisions arrived at by the board members of the company. So the board members or the individuals at the strategic level, they arrive at decisions, and the middle level or the management at the tactical level will ensure that these decisions come into fruition by setting KPIs, by setting controls and whatnot. And you, the finance officer who is located at the lowest level of the organization, is involved with implementing these decisions on a daily basis. So such an individual should have a short-term focus, because since you are involved with the daily running of the company, your focus should be on the short term or daily running of the company. And you should be conversant with budgeting, variance analysis, costing, different types of costing methodologies, especially digital costing, because nowadays most companies are moving from traditional costing environments to digital costing. And you have to be conversant with working capital management related knowledge. So you need to understand how to manage the receivables, how to manage the payables, as well as how to manage inventory, because if you do, then you'd never encounter cash shortages. You'd never have to opt for bank overdrafts. So working capital management, you have to be conversant about it. And short-term risk management will definitely be tested at your examination. There are different types of tools which are supposed to utilize when it comes to risk management in the short term, which are covered under the P1 syllabus. So you need to be conversant about these areas. And your role is not to arrive at decisions. Instead, you are supposed to assist decision makers. So you are reporting directly to the finance manager of the company. So the finance manager, whenever he or she needs your opinion, the finance manager will send you an email. So you are supposed to provide your recommendations or responses. So you are not involved with decision making. Instead, you are supposed to assist decision makers within the organization. So all these elements are covered within our mock exams. So you need not worry about any of these theoretical elements if you're not too conversant about it. about these any of these theoretical components, simply attempt our mock exams and watch our master classes. Then you'd learn theory and you'd understand how these theoretical elements are tested at your real exam. All right, then moving on to the company background. Personal Best is a company that manufactures and sells protein bars and protein powders. So, this company is involved with manufacturing two main product types. What are the product types? Protein bars and protein powders. So at the moment, they are involved with manufacturing protein bars as well as protein powders. So based on this information, since this company is involved with manufacturing and selling, the probable areas which can be tested at your exam will be with regard to standard costing, different costing methods, as well as cost volume profit analysis or CVP analysis. So you have to be conversant about these areas. Again, these are covered within our mock exams. And the company is based in Zealand, a fictitious country in Europe, which has the C dollar as its currency. PB was founded 5 years ago by Julia Matthews, Penny Sanchez, and Hema Bhatt. So three individuals had gotten together and formed this company 5 years ago. So you can see that this company is still at its growth phase. So I've mentioned the fact that this company is a startup in its growth phase. And since this is at the growth phase, it indicates that the company has potential to grow in the future. So there will be scenarios where you are expected to evaluate opportunities the company is trying to exploit in the future, because a company which is at the growth stage tries to embrace opportunities as and when it sees fit. So these type of questions will be thrown at you. And since inception, when starting the company 5 years back, the founders had exploited a gap in the market. Okay, so what is the gap? The three founders debated what their ideal post-workout snack should be. So when they started the business, there was, they were thinking about, manufacturing and selling a post-workout snack, and they were pondering about what type of, a product offering they should bring in to the market. And they, found out a gap within the market. And these guys started the company trying to exploit this gap. So, it is typical of a startup, because any type of startup out there tries to exploit a gap in the market. So looking at the product offerings, so these guys, when they started the business, they did not start by selling two different products. Instead, they solely focused their attention on protein bars. And later on, when they achieved business success, they started selling protein powders as well. So if you look at the product offerings since inception, when it comes to protein bars, what type of product offerings did the founders try to achieve? They tried to manufacture protein bars which are high in protein, because that's what fitness enthusiasts are looking at when consuming a pre or post workout snack. And they were focused on adding no sugar or offering a zero sugar product, because as I told you earlier, this has everything to do with health and fitness enthusiasts. So in order to gain their attention and to satisfy them, this set of customers, it's prudent to go ahead with a product or offer a product which carries no sugar. And these products, the founders discussed amongst themselves and figured out that the products need to taste good as well, because if it doesn't taste good, then the consumers won't consume our products. And it should be a convenient post-workout snack as well. So these are the product offerings which they try to achieve when manufacturing protein bars 5 years back, and they have been successful in it. That's exactly why later on they moved into the protein powder market as well. And which market segment are they focused on? Focused on working men or women interested in fitness. Okay. And since inception, the founders remortgaged their homes and invested their life savings in setting up a small manufacturing plant. So this is again typical of a startup. Since inception, in-house manufacturing was pursued. So this company, the founders, for the past 5 years, they were solely focused on when it comes to carrying out their manufacturing operations, they were solely focused on in-house manufacturing. However, at your exam, there could be questions where the founders or the company is contemplating about going for outsourcing. So in such an environment, your knowledge pertaining to make or buy decisions, make means in-house manufacturing, buy means outsourcing. So rather than solely focusing on in-house manufacturing, the company might contemplate about going for outsourcing, because that could be an efficient option. So you need to be conversant about make or your knowledge about make or buy decisions. So this is covered in the P1 syllabus, and you need not worry about it, because we have developed a question covering make or buy decisions. So there's a methodology which you need to adopt when carrying out costing pertaining to make or buy decision. So this is covered within one of the mock exams. So definitely there will be a question about make or buy decisions. And when it comes to marketing strategy at inception, so these guys used social media marketing. So these companies, since their product offerings were good, since they exploited a gap in the market in a successful manner, they attracted social media influencers, and these social media influencers still works for this company free of charge. And they, because of these social media influencers, as well as because of social media marketing, the company was able to attract positive word of mouths from innovative and engaging, by carrying out innovative and engaging campaigns. And the positive word of mouth reflects that the customers love personal bests products. So they are an extremely successful startup which is in the growth phase. That's what you need to remember. And as at now, they are involved with social media marketing, which had led to and whilst carrying out social, as part of social media marketing activities, they had carried out innovative and engaging campaigns, which had led to positive word of mouth. And this had led to them attracting social media influencers, and these social media influencers are working for free because they love personal bests products. And then looking at the next element, growth in the first year of trading was so rapid that new premises and additional plant and machinery had to be acquired in order to keep up with demand. So you can see that these guys, the founders, had done an extremely good job, which had led to an exponential initial growth. So this is typical of a successful startup. And when when such a company experiences exponential growth, then you need to start investing on property, plant, and equipment, because when the demand for your product increases, then you'd have to improve the size of your manufacturing facilities. You'd have to recruit more people. You'd have to add different types of departments which were not there when you started the business. So all these things leads to a situation where the company invests in property, plant, and equipment. And since the company is still in its growth phase, there will be scenarios or questions which are thrown at you where the company is contemplating about spending money on or acquiring property, plant, and equipment. So if there is a question about acquiring property, plant, and equipment, your knowledge pertaining to IAS 16 property, plant, and equipment will be tested. Or the company also has the option of leasing out or pursuing leasing agreements when acquiring property, plant, and equipment. Rather than buying them outright, you can go for a leasing agreement. If that is the case, then your knowledge pertaining to IFRS 16 leases will be tested. Both these IAS and this IFRS is covered within your F1 syllabus. Again, we have covered these two elements within our mock exams. All right, so let's look at how the company had grown across the years. So in the first 2 years of trading, the company focused on increasing the range of flavors, and they introduced limited editions as well, especially focused on different customer segments, niche customer segments, as well as there's a seasonality in this product range. So focused on different seasons, these guys are involved with selling limited editions. And since the company was successful since inception, they received continuous support from social media influencers free of charge. And as I mentioned earlier, these social media influencers are still providing their services free of charge to personal best. And within the first 2 years of trading, they relaunched the website, which is typical of a startup, and recruited a distribution team. I said that when the size of the company grows, you might have to go for additional recruitments. You might have to set up additional departments within the organization. So that's exactly what had happened within the first 2 years of trading. And in the third year of trading, they introduced protein powders. So as I mentioned earlier, in the first 2 years, they were solely focused on selling protein bars. But in the third year, they introduced protein powders. And if you look at the product specifications of the protein powders, they focused on manufacturing and selling a product which is smooth, creamy, and delicious. So if you had consumed protein powders or protein shakes, there are products out there where it's not too easy to consume because it tastes odd. However, these guys, when developing their products, were hell-bent on coming up with a creamy, smooth, and delicious product in order to drive customer satisfaction. So that's exactly why customers love Personal Best as a company. And looking at the culture of the organization, this is based on entrepreneurial spirit, and because there's a lot of risk taking. If you look at a startup, so entrepreneurial thinking needs to be there. So in such an environment, it's better to recruit enthusiastic, like-minded staff. So that's exactly what you can see within this company. And if you look at the financials as at the year 2023, revenue was 23.9 million. Gross profit was 8.4 million, and the profit before tax was 1.2 million. And considering all this information, I've provided an overall analysis as well. The company had experienced continuous revenue growth over the past 5 years, which is a significant strength. And since the product offerings are totally aligned with the needs of the customers, this had led to high customer satisfaction and loyalty. That's why I said that our customers love us. And there's a coherence and synergy between founding directors, which is a significant strength, especially once a startup becomes successful. Usually there might be rifts or arguments or disagreements between the founders, but you cannot see it within this company, which is extremely good, which is a significant strength. And there's an entrepreneurial culture within the organization, which is solely based on exploiting opportunities. If not, you cannot grow further, especially if you're a company which is in the growth phase. Okay, then looking at the mission statement and the ethos of the company, the mission is to help customers to achieve their personal best and live their best life. So as I mentioned earlier, we are in the health and fitness industry, health and fitness in business. So our mission statement reflects just that, which is good. And if you look at the ethos of the company, we are focused on sustainable and ethical sourcing of ingredients, because when I was conducting the industry analysis a while back, I said that most companies out there, it's a trend within this industry. Most real life companies out there are trying to achieve utmost levels of sustainability as well as ethical business practices. So that's exactly what you can see within this company as well. And the company strives to be carbon neutral within 4 years. How are they trying to achieve this type of carbon neutrality? By improving supply chains, improving manufacturing, and improving logistics. So when it comes to improving supply chains, if you go for a lot of digitalization, then you can get rid of non-value adding activities throughout the supply chain. By getting rid of non-value adding activities or partners who are not adding any value, then you can improve your carbon carbon footprint. Then you need to focus on your manufacturing. When it comes to carrying out manufacturing activities, it's better to focus on adopting sustainable energy sources, as well as adopting machines which leads to less energy consumption. So that's how you can achieve carbon neutrality, by improving manufacturing. And when it comes to improving logistics, you can use technologies such as telematics technology. You can work with the logistics partners you can focus on energy efficient transportation solutions. All these things will lead to lesser carbon footprint. And another ethos is to maintain good supply relationships, because if you have good supply relationships, you can easily achieve your carbon goals, you can easily achieve sustainability, you can easily go for ethical sourcing agreements, and on top of that, you'd get high quality raw materials right on time at the most competitive price. So that's exactly why this company is hell-bent about maintaining good supply relationships. And looking at the website of the company, it offers nutritional and fitness advice. So we are not, if you look at the company, Personal Best is not utilizing its website to drive sales. Instead, they are offering added services to customers, which leads to better reputation, which leads to better engagement. So if the customers are engaged, then that leads to improved sales in the future. And there are support chat rooms as well, so that our employees can provide support to these fitness enthusiasts whenever they request our help. And via the website, the company offer prizes as well. Again, these prizes are given with the intention of driving eyeballs to the website. And if that is the case, it leads to a higher level of customer engagement, and customer engagement in return leads to higher sales in the future. So there's an option where the best customers can utilize PB's products as ingredients and come up with recipes, and each month we are selecting the best recipe and offering prizes, which is good for customer engagement. And based on all this information, the general analysis is that we will have to invest on software and processes to achieve our carbon goals, as I told you earlier. If we are to reduce our carbon footprint, thereby achieve carbon neutrality, we have to keep track about our manufacturing operations, our supply chains, as well as logistics. We have to keep track of our carbon emissions throughout all these processes. So the best way to do it is by going for digitalization, utilizing a lot of software and processes with the intention of keeping track of carbon emissions and trying to reduce them. And it's better to go for collaborative supply relationships rather than sourcing from a multitude of suppliers, thereby pushing for a competitive supply relationship. A competitive supply relationship is one which is based on a scenario where we try to go for the lowest price by ensuring that the suppliers compete with each other. So we are trying to win at all costs, but we are trying to go for the lowest cost at all times. So although we are getting our raw material at the lowest price, the suppliers are not winning. So in such an environment, you call it a competitive supply relationship. So these competitive supply relationships are not too good for the future, because in the short term, you'd benefit from low cost raw material. But in the future, the suppliers will be dissatisfied with us because their margins are so thin, they'll stop supplying to us. And this leads to a situation where we end up with low quality supplies in the future, or else we'd have to purchase from different types of supplies all the time. And in such an environment, we can't keep track of, we cannot control the quality of the raw material which we receive. Instead, it's better to go for collaborative relationships. So this is a scenario where you learn from your suppliers, and at the same time, you share a lot of knowledge about the internal operations of the company with the suppliers. You try to achieve a win-win scenario where you win as well as the suppliers are winning. So in such an environment, the suppliers would love to work with us. In such an environment, therefore, we'd end up getting high quality raw material at the best price, and they will never and this leads to shorter lead times as well, which benefits us when it comes to manufacturing. So collaborative supply relationships are vital in the future. And at the moment, the company prefers in-house manufacturing or processing, but there could be a question about outsourcing as well. So probable areas tested based on this information is supply chain management. Your knowledge pertaining to supply chain management, which is covered under the E1 syllabus, will be tested. Knowledge pertaining to sustainability, again covered within the E1 syllabus, as well as make or buy decisions, which is covered in the P1 syllabus, will be tested. All right, so that's what I wanted to achieve pertinent to the pre-scene analysis. So as I said, our pre-scene analysis sessions consists of 4 main videos, and I just focused on the first part in today's webinar. The other parts can be, the other 3 remaining pre-scene analysis videos can be purchased via the paid content. Any questions, folks? So I hope you guys, have a better understanding about personal best and what it is up to, or about its history, its product offerings and whatnot, what type of market it operates in, as well as what it strives to achieve in the future. Any questions? If there are any questions, please switch on your mic and talk, or simply you can drop a message on the chat section. Any questions, folks? Okay. So Portia is asking a question: which option will we get the rest of the pre-scene analysis? Yeah, I will be talking about it right now, Portia. I'll be talking about the type of products which we offer. Then you'd understand how you can get your hands on these products. Okay, so if you have questions, if you still have questions, you can drop a message on the chat section. And while you do that, let me quickly talk about what we offer at TCS before we move on to the last part of today's webinar. So under OCS, we offer a set of free services or study material as well. So by clicking on this button, you can check out the free content. As part of the free content, you'd have access to the recorded versions of all these 4 webinars. And on top of that, you'll have access to a mini mock, its suggested answer, and the answer plan of the mini mock. So that comes under the free content. And if you are interested in purchasing, before you do that, please check out our sample material so that you have a good understanding about what you'd get when you purchase either of our services. And I invite you to, if you're not part of the OCS WhatsApp group yet, I invite you to, click on this button and simply join the OCS WhatsApp group, because we'll be sharing additional free study content as well as tutor support. I am the lead, admin within this group. So if you have any questions, you can raise these concerns via our OCS discussion forum. All right, so talking about what we offer 2 main packages. So first things first, I'll talk about the value pack. So this value pack is designed for students who have completed the CIMA OTQ examination. So if you are coming through the CIMA general route, and if you have done your OTQ exams, then it indicates that you are conversant with theoretical content. If not, you cannot pass the OTQ exam. So if you had passed the OTQ exam, and if you're conversant with theoretical elements, simply go for the value pack. So under the value pack, you'll have access to the recordings of all webinars, 5 mock exams and suggested answers. So as I mentioned earlier, when developing the 5 mock exams, I've made sure to cover all theoretical elements which are covered under E1, F1 and P1 syllabi. So if you attempt all 5 mock exams under exam conditions, then you need not do anything else when it comes to syllabus coverage. So you'd get your hands on the 5 mock exams and suggested answers. And you'd also get your hands on the pre-scene analysis videos. So just like what I explained a while back, or the type of explanations which I carried out, you'd also get your hands on the 3 remaining pre-scene analysis videos, which is essential for you to get an understanding about what's covered within the pre-scene document. And you'd also get your hands on the annotated pre-scene. That's exactly what you saw a while back. This is the annotated pre-scene. So as you can see, as you experienced a while back, rather than going through pages and pages of information. You can simply understand what's covered within the pre-scene, because this is a good summary. And as part of these annotations, I've also highlighted probable syllabus content which can be tested, which is going to be extremely beneficial for you when understanding the content covered within the pre-scene document. And on top of that, I've provided general analysis as well as and when needed. And on top of that, I've also highlighted probable scenarios which can be thrown at you at the exam. So if you go through the pre-scene analysis videos and go through the annotated pre-scene, you would gain an in-depth understanding about the pre-scene in a concise manner, because we have made your life easy by providing these. This is actually these annotations can be considered as a good short note, which helps you easily understand what's covered within the pre-scene. And you'd also get your hands on the industry and financial analysis cards. You saw what our industry analysis cards look like, because I conducted the industry analysis based on some of the slides which comes with the industry analysis cards. So let me quickly show you what our financial analysis cards look like, or what it comprises of. So as I told you earlier, three financial statements are provided within your pre-scene document: the SOPL, the SOFP, and the statement of cash flows. So each financial statement is evaluated in depth, and we have made sure to keep all evaluations simple and concise, so that you can easily understand what's covered under each and every line item. So that's exactly what you can see in the SOFP as well, and the statement of cash flows. A similar evaluation had been conducted. And at the very end, a ratio analysis is conducted, focusing on profitability, activity gearing, and liquidity ratios. And each ratio, again, had been evaluated based on concise and clear evaluations. And I said that the pre-scene analysis videos comprises of 4 videos, and the fourth and final video is solely dedicated towards a financial analysis. So when conducting the financial analysis, I've utilized these set of slides. So these are the type of financial analysis cards you'd get your hands on if you go for the value pack. And you'd also get a document which highlights the top 10 likely issues, which indicates the most probable scenarios which can be tested at your examination. You'd also get your hands on the case study familiarization kit. You can simply read it in something like 30 minutes to get an in-depth understanding about the technicalities pertaining to the OCS exam. And you'd also have access to a tutor-managed live chat. So whenever you have a question, you can raise these concerns. We are always there to help you out. And you'd also get your hands on the OTQ revision cards. So since you are done with your OTQ exams, by going through these OTQ revision cards, you can quickly polish up your knowledge in the relevant theoretical contexts within a short period of time. So you need not go through your old, notes and whatnot. You need not refer to any textbooks, because you would have seen CIMA textbooks, which goes for thousands of pages. So you need not spend time on these things. Simply refer to the OTQ revision cards to brush up your knowledge in these areas. So the price of this package is £199. Okay, then looking at the premium package, this is designed for students coming through the exemption route or the FLP route, or those who had failed to pass in the previous sitting. So if you failed your previous examination, or if you're coming through the exemption route, you need to learn theory. So solely focused on these type of students, with the intention of ensuring that you learn theory as well as understand how to apply theory in a practical sense when developing your answers, we have developed the premium package. So the premium package comes with everything which is covered under the value pack. Additionally, you would have access to the online mock exam platform. So via the online mock exam platform, what you can achieve is when attempting each of your mock exams, you can do it under real exam conditions. Okay, you'd understand the value of attempting each mock exam under real exam conditions. You'd understand the value of it after attending the next webinar, where I'll be highlighting an answering and time management technique. So in order to get these answering and time management techniques right, you need to keep on practicing these techniques on a continuous basis, because if you do, In each mock exam, just like in your real examination, you'd have 4 tasks. So 4 tasks into 5 mock exams comes up to 20 tasks in total. So if you keep on practicing answering and time management techniques 20 times over, you are in a position to champion these techniques at your by the time you attempt your real examination. So that's exactly why I said one of our students had scored 117 marks in the previous sitting. So this student, as I mentioned earlier, said that he was clueless about how to develop answers. He was clueless about how to manage time before he attended our webinars and before he attempted our mock exams. But after doing it, he was extremely comfortable, it seems, at his real exam. That's exactly why this individual got 117 marks. So we have developed the mock exam platform to be akin to the Pearson VUE system, which you'd use at your real exam. So it's better to get accustomed to exam stress, exam conditions way before the exam, and keep practicing answering and time management techniques over and over, with the intention of championing each of these techniques. And you'd also gain one-on-one tutor feedback on mocks 3, 4, and 5. Mocks 1 and 2 are there to get your bearings with the technicalities of the examination, because you need to have some type of knowledge about answering and time management techniques. You need to practice it. So that's why we are not providing tutor feedback for mocks 1 and 2. But from mock 3 onwards, we are providing one-on-one tutor feedback. So let me quickly show you the type of feedback you'd receive. So as you can see, on a paragraph by paragraph basis, I myself am providing this feedback. So on a paragraph by paragraph basis, you'd receive feedback so that you are in a position to understand what your exact shortcomings are. And this is going to be a tremendous asset for you when ensuring you prepare fully, focused on your OCS exam. And at the very end, marks are provided, and we are also providing a success rate on a subtask by subtask basis. So the success rate indicates the areas in which you have done a good job. So this student had gained a total mark of just 62, thereby failing the examination. Why is this the case? Because the success rate is up to par only in tasks 1A, task 2B, and task 3A. However, in all the other subtasks, the student had not fared properly. So this is going to be, the success rate is going to indicate the areas in which you need to really improve your answers. So after attempting each mock exam, after you receive feedback, you are supposed to redevelop answer plans on your own. You'd understand what answer plans are when we are done with the upcoming webinar, the 3rd webinar. So you are supposed to redevelop answer plans on your own, focused on your shortcomings. So rather than redeveloping answer plans for the entire paper, you are simply supposed to focus on the areas in which you need to improve your answer plans. So this is the smartest approach which you can adopt. Within a short period of time, you can get everything done and ensure that you are fully prepared for your OCS exam. And at the very end, general comments are provided with the intention of further improving the quality of your answers. And you'd also get get your hands on the answer plans of all mock exams, all 5 mock exams. So let me quickly show you what each answer plan looks like. So rather than going through pages and pages of suggested answers, you can simply understand the structure of the answer, the logic of the answer, and how theoretical elements are brought in or covered within each and every answer by looking at these answer plans. So all in all, we can rephrase these answer plans as short notes. So if you invest on the premium package, you need not develop your own short notes. We have done it for you, focusing on all 5 mock exams. So that's exactly what you can see here. So this is a good short note where you can easily learn theory and understand the structure of the answer as well as the logic of each and every answer. Okay. And you'd also gain access to the 20 masterclasses. And when conducting the masterclasses, what we are doing is we are explaining the logic of each and every question and answer covered within our 5 mock exams. Whilst explaining the logic of each and every answer, I'm teaching you theory as well as highlighting application skills as well. And each masterclass is conducted based on the answer plans which we have developed. So this is the crucial resource which you need to gain access to, the answer plans and the master classes. If you have access to them, and if you attempt the 5 mock exams under real exam conditions, and once you receive tutor feedback, there's absolutely no way that you'd fail your examination. So that's exactly why we are offering a pass guarantee for the premium package. And in order to claim your pass guarantee, you have to complete all 5 mock exams, because without completing all 5 mock exams you cannot cover the entire syllabus. Students expect to pass by attempting just 1 or 2 mocks. You can't cover the entire syllabus, so because of that the tendency of you failing is extremely high. So it's prudent to complete all mock exams, and your solutions need to be original. If you copy and paste suggested answers, you are cheating yourself. And if you cheat yourself when preparing for the examination, at the exam you'd suffer. And you have to meet the performance criteria as well. For mocks 3, 4, and 5, you need to gain more than 40%. Why are we saying this? Because in order to ensure that you are serious about what you are doing, just because you attempt mock 3, 4, and 5 with the intention of claiming the pass guarantee, if you do not do a good job, if you're not focused enough, you are not improving your preparation. So instead, you have to be extremely focused and utilize the study resources provided by us fully. So if you achieve just these 3 elements, then you will pass for sure. If not, we will give access to the same package, the premium package, free of charge in your subsequent sitting, free of charge. Okay, so that's why this premium package comes with the pass guarantee. So you can pay in full and save £100. So the package would be £549, or else you can pay in 2 installments as well. And installment will be £324 per month. So the actual price of the package is 649, but if you pay in full, you can benefit thereby gaining a £100 discount. And all products are available until the 28th of February 2024. This does not apply to the premium package, because if you are claiming a pass guarantee, then if you had fulfilled the 3 performance criteria, then you will definitely have access to the premium package one more time in your subsequent sitting. All right, so that's what we offer. So having said that, I'm moving on to the last part of today's webinar, which is about what you need to do to rebound from failure. So there could be students who are part and parcel of this webinar who attempted the OCS exam previously, in the previous sitting, or earlier than that. And if you failed, you need to really figure out what led to this failure. Because I've seen so many students out there, especially those who are coming through the FLP route, they keep on, attempting the exam 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and whatnot. Why? Because they are not doing something to really understand their shortcomings and overcome each of the shortcomings. So first things first, you need to be involved with a personal reflection and try to figure out whether you gave your best or not. If you did not give your best this time, you need to act smarter than the previous sitting. So you need to understand where you went wrong in the exam. You need to diagnose the reasons first and address them this time. So a diagnosis means you are trying to understand what your shortcomings are without understanding the shortcomings before, without involving yourself with a personal reflection. You cannot come up with solutions. So in order to find solutions, the best approach is to find out what actually went wrong in your previous sitting. So refer to the mini mock and suggested answers, as well as the examiner's report, to figure out the type of answers you are supposed to provide by referring to our master classes, our answer plans, as well as our questions. You would understand the type of questions which are thrown at you, as well as the type of answers you are supposed to develop. And you might not have opted for tutor feedback on your mock exam answer scripts in the previous sitting. And if you failed, then it's mandatory that you opt for tutor feedback, because I showed you what type of tutor feedback, the quality of tutor feedback which we provide at TCS. So after getting that type of feedback, there's absolutely no point that no way that you'd end up failing the exam again, because then via the tutor feedback you'd really understand what your shortcomings are. And on a mock by mock basis, I will be keeping track of your progression. If you keep committing the same mistakes over and over again, I will definitely mention it as part of general comments. Okay. So make full use of this tutor feedback, which comes with the premium package. And you need to come up with an action plan this time, which is to work smarter than the previous attempt. So when it comes to working smarter, simply stick to the study plan which we have provided. So you can get access to the OCS study plan within the website itself. So we have come up with a 7-week study plan. I explained this study plan in the first webinar. So if you missed it, please go watch the recorded version so that you know what you are supposed to do on a weekly basis. So do not wait until the last moment. Most students out there wait until the last 2 or 3 weeks to start preparations. That's the most stupidest thing you can do when preparing yourself. Instead, start your preparations right now, because I'm not asking you to do too much. On a weekly basis, you are simply allocate something like 8 or 7 hours. So as you can see, in the first 2 weeks, you are supposed to allocate 8 hours. However, from the second week onwards, you are simply supposed to allocate just 7 hours per week. So out of these 7 hours, if you look at week number 4, you are supposed to attend the webinar. That's going to just take 1.5 hours of your time. Then you are supposed to attempt mock number 3. When it comes to attempting mock number 3, you have to allocate 3 hours of your time. And then it's about watching the 4 master classes. So in order to watch it, you just need to allocate something like 2.5 hours in total. Then you are supposed to refer to personalized tutor feedback, which would take just 15 to 30 minutes of your time. And then you are supposed to refer to the answer plans, which is just going to take 1 hour. So if you really think about what you are supposed to do on a weekly basis, you are simply supposed to, your real responsibility is to attempt the mock exam on a mock exam on a weekly basis under exam conditions. So you just need to find 3 hours at a stretch, allocate it, leave 3 hours on a weekly basis to attempt each mock exam. Do not wait until the last moment. Start right now itself. Stick to our study plan, which we have provided. And if you do, your real responsibility is just about finding 3 hours at a stretch and attempting a mock exam per week. Everything else is handled by us. So for instance, let's assume you attempt your mock exam on a Tuesday. On Wednesday, you are supposed to watch the master classes. On by Thursday, you would receive tutor feedback, because we provide tutor feedback within 48 hours. So by Thursday, you'd know how much marks you have gained, and you'd know what your shortcomings are. And by Friday, you are supposed to focus on redeveloping answer plans for the subtasks in which your success rate was low. That's it. You can enjoy your weekend. So during the weekend at 10 a.m. UK time, you are simply supposed to attend a webinar or a workshop. You can leave out Sunday, the rest of Saturday as well as Sunday in its full, to spend time with your family. I do not want to pressurize you guys too much. Instead, we have what the study system which we have developed at TCS is solely focused on the premise that we do all the hard work for you. Your real responsibility is just about attempting a mock per week and just watching a set of videos. So on a Tuesday, you attempt the mock exam. On Wednesday, you watch the videos. By Thursday, you would get tutor feedback. On Friday, you redevelop answer plans. On Saturday, you attempt a webinar or workshop, and you spend time at office, focus on your office work, focus on your business, and focus on your family members. So if you keep on doing this on a weekly basis, you can definitely pass your OCS exam. I'm not asking you to do too much. So this is the smarter way to work compared to your previous attempt. So what are the common reasons for failure? Practicing just 2 or 3 mocks. I highlighted this point earlier. If you are practicing just 2 or 3 mocks, there's absolutely no chance that you are covering the entire syllabus. So without covering the entire syllabus, you cannot pass the OCS exam, especially given the fact that the OCS exam is highly theoretical. If you are looking at the SCS exam, that's a different story, because SCS has everything to do with decision making. So if you can think straight, if you are a practical decision maker, then even without attempting 5 mock exams, you can pass the SCS exam. But that is not the case when it comes to OCS. If you're not too conversant about theoretical elements, if you're clueless about how theories are tested via exam scenarios, you'd have to keep repeating the exam. So the most common reason for failure is practicing just 2 or 3 mocks. So it's this time you need to attempt 5 mock exams. And another problem is not practicing mocks under simulated exam conditions. So we had fixed this problem for you as well, because under the premium package, you will have access to the exam platform, which we have developed to be somewhat close to the Pearson VUE system you'd use at your real examination. So when attempting each mock exam, as I mentioned earlier, you need to keep practicing answering and time management techniques in order to get it right. So if you keep practicing these techniques under exam conditions, you'd get accustomed to exam stress. You'd get accustomed to exam conditions. That's the best way to pass your exam this time. And a lack of technical knowledge is a killer, especially since theoretical elements are heavily tested within this exam. As I told you earlier, F1 and P1 syllabi consists of a 80% weightage within your paper. So if you're clueless about certain F1 and P1 elements, then you can forget about passing the exam. So in order to find a solution, we have developed the master classes. So we have covered all syllabus content via the 5 mock exams, and focus on each and every task of each mock exam. We have developed 20 master classes in total. And via these master classes, whilst explaining the logic of each and every question and answer, we are teaching you theory as well. The best way to learn theory is not by referring to huge study texts and whatnot. Instead, the best way to learn theory is by looking at an exam standard question and how theoretical knowledge is tested via your case study examination. So if you watch the master classes, you can overcome gaps in technical knowledge, and shortcomings in application of knowledge could be a killer as well. For instance, when it comes to suggesting KPIs, you need to understand the shortcomings faced by the company at the moment by referring to the information provided in the scenario. So you need to have the ability to spot the issues faced by the company, because KPIs are usually developed to get rid of the issues faced by the company at the moment. So the best way to understand this is by attempting our 5 mock exams as well as watching our master classes, because via the master classes, we are also covering application. And inappropriate answering technique, most students are clueless about how to develop answers. So you can overcome this by attending our upcoming webinar. And another problem is mismanagement of time. Again, by attending our upcoming webinar, you can improve your time management techniques. Most students end up failing the OCS exam mainly because of because of them running out of time. So if you run out of time, you'd provide half-hearted answers or incomplete answers. If you respond to your finance manager, thereby coming up with half-hearted or incomplete suggestions or answers, you're going to lose your job. So in the OCS exam, it's as if you end up failing the examination. So in order to get these things right, attend the third webinar, upcoming webinar. And on top of that, just because you attend the third webinar, you cannot get these things right. Instead, you need to keep practicing these techniques over and over again, 20 times over in total, when attempting our 5 mock exams. And lack of evaluation would have been a problem. Just because you practice a mock exam, it doesn't make any sense. You need to evaluate your answer to the suggested answer. So that's where tutor feedback comes in handy. So if you failed, definitely you should opt for a situation where you take maximum use of tutor feedback which we provide. and not adhering to a study plan is another problem. Most students, as I mentioned earlier, start preparations 2 or 3 weeks before the exam. Again, we have fixed this issue because we have provided a study plan within the website itself. Okay, so make use of these resources. So before we wind up, I'm proud to say that 4 of our students achieved national ranks in 2022, and I'm pretty sure, as I told you earlier, this time also one of our students got 117 marks. So as you can see, this student, this individual who gained all India second rank, just scored 109 marks. But this time, one of our students had gotten 117 marks. So there could be another national rank as well. So, if you ask the question as to how these guys achieve these national ranks, it's simply by sticking to our study plan. So stick to our study plan, focus on getting it right in your first sitting itself, especially if you had failed on a previous occasion, you need to get it right this time. So simply utilize our study material and stick to the study plan. You just need to allocate 7 hours on a weekly basis. Everything else is taken care of by us. All right, so before we wind up, any questions, guys? So I've been talking for the last 1.5 hours. It's now your time to talk. Any questions, any concerns? All right, seems like there aren't any questions. So I'm going to wind up the session. So if you want to contact us, you can do it via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com, or you can email us on info@study@tcs.com, or simply drop us a message via WhatsApp, which is 7898464196. And I urge you to follow us on our social media handles. And I mentioned about the TikTok videos, which will come in handy when it comes to understanding, when it comes to remembering the most important points which are highlighted within the Preseen document. So this is provided to you free of charge. So make use of these free resources which we offer, and the recorded version of this webinar will be uploaded to YouTube as well. So make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel as well. So having said that, it brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you gained something out of this, and I urge you to attend the upcoming webinar, which is the most important webinar out of the 4 webinars which we have scheduled. And if you have any friends, if you know about any friends who are following OCS, then please do invite them, ask them to register, or ask them to join our WhatsApp group. We are more than happy to help you guys out. And even if you do not invest on our study material or resources, that's totally fine. On a weekly basis, make sure to get in touch with me. Make sure to stick to our study plan. Kickstart your preparations right now itself, rather than waiting until the last moment, so that you can relax closer to the exam as per our study plan. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good day.